Hi, my name is Josiah Guffman. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at Carroll Community College, and today I'll be doing a presentation about transfer student services, specifically at Carroll Community College. Let's start with a little bit of history and background on Carroll Community College. It is a 2-year open enrollment institution in Westminster, Maryland. The college opened as a branch of Catonsville Community College in 1976. A full 20 years later, in 1996, the college received its initial accreditation by the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools and became Carroll Community College. It is composed of 2 major divisions, credit and non-credit, or also known as continuing education and training. Both of these divisions serve the population of Carroll County, a sparsely populated rural area with approximately 167,000 people. Currently, Carroll offers 45 different associate's degrees and transfer programs to many different 4-year institutions. The students served by the Transfer Student Services team are all of our incoming transfer students. Most of the students that we deal with that are native students at Carroll Community College are going to transfer to 4-year institutions. These students are handled through the initial same process, admissions and advising, and then transfer out. This specifically will be referring to students transferring into the college. Those students are handled first by the admissions office, which does all of the onboarding and initial evaluation of transcripts, as well as application completion to get them started at the college. Once that is complete, they are then handed over to an academic advisor. Sometimes this is not the first semester. Sometimes the first semester the admissions office will register them for classes. If it's a more technical field, the advising office will do it. Depending on when the student comes in, their official transcript will be evaluated by records, and then records will give them articulation for those credits on their transcript. Campus and external partners. The Transfer Student Services team partners with multiple internal and external partners. First, the Transfer Student Services team is spread out among the 3 primary offices I've already mentioned. These offices partner with the Student Life Office to incorporate incoming transfer students into clubs and student groups on campus. While there is no specific club or organization that focuses on transfer students, there's over 30 different clubs, organizations, or societies that they can become involved with. The advising office also partners with local colleges and universities to offer a transfer fair every fall and spring. This is an event that invites outside institutions to recruit our current students. This event is regularly attended by over 70% of our credit student body population. The Transfer Student Service team also collaborates with the Maryland Higher Education Commission, commonly known as MHEC, to provide public evaluation of our credits with all Maryland public institutions of higher learning, as well as most private institutions. This is mandated for all Maryland public schools, but it is on a voluntary basis for our private institutions in the state of Maryland. MHEC, houses and controls a website known as ARTSYS, which stands for the Articulation System of Maryland. This website allows students, advisors, and faculty to easily look up transfer articulations from any community college in Maryland to any participating institution. This takes the guesswork out of the equation for transfer students coming in or out of Carroll Community College, and it helps our students be more successful. T. and Shadi stated, sophomore and junior transfer students exhibited higher persistence rate than native and freshman transfer students. Programs and outreach. At this time, Carroll does not have any specific programs for incoming transfer students. Now, for outgoing transfer students, we have the transfer fair, which I already mentioned, and we have recruiters from other 4-year schools on campus on a regular basis. But as far as for incoming transfer students, we have no programs and outreach at this time. We'll discuss this further when we get to the needs improvement. Assessment efforts. We have nothing to track our incoming transfer students. Now, when it goes to our outgoing transfer students, those were all tracked. So for the 2011 and 2009 cohort, over 50% of the students that started at Carroll in those years have completed their bachelor's degree within 6 years. This is well above the national average of under 30% for those 2 years. The 2010, 2008, and 2007 cohort all had a bachelor's degree attainment rate between 45 and 50%. While these years were not as high as those other two, they were still 15 to 30% better than the national community college average. So we do this with our native students. We need to do this with our incoming transfer students to see how they're doing as well. Spiritual formation. Carroll is not a religious institution, but we pride ourselves at Carroll on the complete development of the person and the student. A piece of that is the student spirit or their soul. Carroll is known for its family feel. We pride ourselves in being a small campus that cares for our students. Our students are people first and then students second. Specifically, the Transfer Student Services team is the first person or people that our incoming transfer students meet. So we're the first people that try to make them feel like they are at home when they are at our campus. Transfer students, we know, struggle with many different things. Could be different class sizes, social esteem, could be dealing with different student types that they've never dealt with before. It is our responsibility to help them feel comfortable and help make them the whole person. There's many opportunities for professional development for a professional in transfer student services. The National Institute for the Study of Transfer Students, NISTS, is one of those organizations, and they provide professional development, research, conferences, awards, and events for professionals. Its core values are education, research, and advocacy. And they hold an annual conference every year. In February of 2020, it'll be from February 5th through the 7th, and there will be over 70 different sessions that you can choose to go to, as well as poster presentations and built-in networking time. About every other year, the NISTS also has a new publication about transfer student services. The most recent was Building Transfer Student Pathways for Colleges and Career Success. That was by Mark Allen Pizzell and Sonia Joseph. Because Carroll is lacking in many areas, I wanted to put a slide specifically for areas of improvement for the college. The first thing that we need to do is have a transfer student orientation. Just because a student has attended a college somewhere else, another 4-year, a 2-year college, a public, private, it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily know that they know where their resources are going to be at Carroll Community College, how to access those resources, how to get around. These are things that could be dealt with at a transfer student orientation. We also need to have public articulations from 2-year to 2-year colleges on our website that incoming students can find, as well as from 4-year to 2-year institutions. The last thing is we must begin assessment. We need to have our incoming transfer students fill out questionnaires saying, why are they here? Where are they coming from? Why weren't they successful, or why didn't they choose? Why didn't they stay at their last institution? This will help us track those students and do a better job of taking care of them when they get to our institution. I did a little comparison with McDaniel College, which is a 4-year liberal arts institution that's also in Westminster. They also don't have a transfer student services office. They have it broken down the same way Carroll does with an office, people that work with transfer students in multiple offices. They do have a specific transfer admissions counselor that works on just recruiting transfer students from 2-year schools. They have a dean of transfer students that does all of the initial advising for transfer students, and they hold a transfer student orientation. In conclusion, transfer student services team is vital to every institution. Whether it's a 2-year or a 4-year institution, large or small, the transfer student services team is vital. Here at Carroll, we have a lot of room for improvement with our transfer team. Here's our references. Thank you very much.